Hey guys, welcome to the pond. I know you've been dying for a pond update and I've been itching to get back here. We've been so busy on so many different freaking adventures. We haven't had time for the pond. So everything's working good. We got the dugout dude aerator firing air into the pond. It's working good. I can see some fish up on the surface. They're all looking good. I know you guys want an update on the bear claws and the bear skulls, so we'll get into that in a second. We got to get quite oriented. I'm going to throw some feed in the pond, make sure that our fish are still alive. And got subscriber Scott here. I got a challenge here today. I want to catch and cook a fish. We've got fish from 6 inches right up to 12. There's some monsters in there. I think actually bigger than that, from Lyndon Trout Hatchery. So subscriber Scott, do you want to catch a fish with spin rod, a fly rod, spear pole, or the sling bow? What's your selection, subscriber Scott?
Well, it is way too hot out here today, so I'm gonna go with the spear pole, and then I can go into the water, and then I'll actually be able to see the fish up close and personal too.
Let's see if you can get this together. I'm gonna keep chatting because the thing is, we don't know what's going on with this pond right now. I don't know if the fish are alive or dead, so I'm kind of glad that Scott went with the spear pole, because that means he's gonna go down there and do some recon. You wanna know why you're not set to go?
Well, there's no tip.
So I've discovered that this is probably the best tip for trout. We have a couple of different tips. I'll let you put that on. It's just a screw-on tip. You have some different selections. There's actually a different one down here. Let's see if I can get it out without tearing everything apart. There we go. So Scott's like, this tip might work. I'm like, no. I tried this tip before, and what happens is the trout actually wiggle off. It's a good tip for like frogs and stuff like that, or less wiggly fish, but the wiggly trout will wiggle off that because it's got not enough barb. This tip here, can you get that off? I got it off. Okay, so this one, after it goes inside the fish there, it actually opens up and it deploys, so a wiggly fish can't get off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you the GoPro, and we're gonna throw some feed in here. I want to see the fish. You guys want to see the fish? I want to see the fish.
There's a couple big ones down in this pond now. They've been growing for a couple months now, so they've been growing. So the fish that were in here that were only 12 inches will be about 14 inches now, so they're getting to be a nice decent size to eat.
Well, we can't feed those fish too much or they're going to completely lose their appetite and we're not going to be able to catch them at all. Although Scott's got ideas that he's going to be able to spear pole a fish, which I don't think he's going to be able to do it. I've tried it before and it's pretty darn difficult. So we've got a sponsor for this video, Mystery Tackle Box. You're going to use my code, which I'll put down below or on the screen right now, because I actually forget it right now. Is it Beardsman? I think it's Beardsman. Anyway, that'll be on the screen. Find that code, put that in, and you're going to get your first box for as little as 10 bucks. They've been sending me bass boxes and I'm like, listen, I like bass fishing, but bass fishing's not open yet in Canada for a while. So send me some freaking trout boxes. So they did. Got my trout boxes here and we're gonna put those to good use. It's a monthly subscription model. So basically you're gonna get a new trout box every single month. So it's a good gift for yourself, kid you know, a dad you know, an uncle you know, a wife you know, a daughter you know. It's good for everybody. Keeps you fishing and it keeps your catalog of lures up to date because you're always getting something new to try.
Ready to go.
You think it's gonna be cold?
It's gonna be cool. Shouldn't be too bad though.
I'm gonna throw the thermometer in there because I want to check the temperature. Trout temperature is everything. So we want it to be as cold as possible to keep it in that feeding zone.
Woo! Woo! That is freaking cold on the nuts.
Well, that bear skull is nowhere near ready. I'm just kind of messing around with it a little bit while Scott's in the water. And it's not even close. It's kind of disintegrating a little bit. The meat's starting to work apart, but I think just by the nature of the trap, it's not working as effectively because the creatures can't get at it as easily as possible, but the bacteria is definitely working it. And now me stirring it around, I can see the minnows actually come in and eat the little bits of meat that are kind of flushed around. I don't want to stir it up too much because then Scott's going to be swimming in that stuff, and that's pretty nasty stuff. You see all kinds of minnows coming in for an investigation. So it is working, just a lot slower. I think it would help if the water was running. So if it doesn't complete the job here, then I'll move it to a running creek or whatever, and that'll speed up the process a little bit. It's just hard where you can't leave it here because the turtle would take off with it and I'd never see it again. Did you guys watch the whole other pond series? Well, this is going to be linked up to the other pond series anyway, so you can go back and check. But temperature is a big factor when it comes to trout. And last year we had a whole bunch of problems getting the right temperature because it just got baking hot. And so actually was worried in the middle of the summer we were going to lose all our fish. So we're not going to let that happen again. We're going to drop the thermometer down here in the water just at the edge. I want a surface temperature measurement, and that's going to give us kind of a ballpark on how, what the other temperature of the rest of the pond is at. And then later on, after we catch something, well, presumably we're going to catch something, I'll cast it out and try to get it down at the bottom. I still don't know how deep this pond is because I don't have a kayak, but that's another story. I should have a kayak here so I can go explore here, but I don't. So predictably, Scott did not get a fish with the spear pole. I don't even think he really tried once he got in there. It's a little cold to be focusing on two things at the same time, but there he is. So I'm gonna try Mystery Tackle Box. This is a crystallized crankbait. I wanna try to catch one of the bigger trout because obviously more bigger trouter fishers, more goes in my belly. I don't know why I can't talk today, but that's pretty usual. So here's our cranky bait. It's got like pinky and greeny and a white belly. I don't know. Maybe it'll freak those trout up enough to think that it's like an injured minnow. I don't think they're going to be naturalized. That's the word of the year this year is naturalized. Everything's naturalized. I don't think those trout are naturalized to the pond yet, and they're going to be mostly onto pellet feed. So you might have to get creative. I wouldn't be surprised if this doesn't work out of the box. I don't know why I'm doing this with my teeth. I have a knife in my pocket. Let's just use the knife, save my teeth. That way I can chew food with it later on rather than not be able to chew anymore. Okay, let's cast in here. Let's see what happens. I'm always curious to see how these fish react to these crazy inventions that fishermen came up with to trick fish into biting things.
Just going through the box, found this Lip Rippers floating bait, almost like a little salmon egg with tail sticking out of it. I've heard of this company before for trout. Figured I'd trust my gut and go with this one, see what happens.
All right, dudes, you guys think we're gonna catch a fish? I don't know. I just have experience trying to catch fish out of a pond when you first started, and it doesn't work out well for me. Maybe this one's different. Oh, I just about had one. Did you see that? We're gonna do fits and stops now. Oh, I thought I had a bite there.
You did.
Oh, I did have a bite. Oh, whoa, that was a little guy. I pulled it away on that guy on purpose. Okay, now we're doing fits and starts. That's like a bass thing. Just like jerk and pause. Because they're going after it on the pause. You got one? Oh no, nice fish. Is that a good one?
Nah.
Not a bad one. So that doesn't count as the first fish because it's actually just bait. So Scott's the master baiter so far.
Hey, that's a fish. It counts as a fish.
It's a fish. I'm gonna catch a fish. If you don't want to eat it, it's not a fish. Oh, there we go. First cast back in.
Good one?
Boy, she's fighting like a good one. Dude, I feel like I'm snagged. There we go, we let go. Something, it was caught on something there. Oh no, I lost him. He hung me up. Got in the salad. That's definitely a challenge for this pond, is the salad that comes with it. Oh, there's a good one. Oh, these are too small. Man, that's
a nice one.
I know, that's the one I wanted to get. I had to pull it away from the other ones. Oh,
There we go.
Is that a chub?
Yeah.
Oh no. There's another big fat chub. We're gonna have to come back and grab these for pike bait or musky bait. Oh, I got another one. What did I get?
Chub.
Another chub. Well, these are fun to catch anyway. These are actually really good pike bait. Back in the drink. Yeah, I almost had a trout there. Almost. So close. All right, I got the chesty on. Now we're getting serious.
I also switched out to the Little Ripper from the same company as that floating bait I was just using. See if this works any better.
Oh, he got one right away.
It was a trout too.
That was a trout. That was a nice jump. Oh, that's a trout. That's a trout. That's a trout. It hit like a sack of bricks. Yeah, that's a trout. It's a little trout. Well, any trout that we catch today, we're keeping because we don't want the mortality rate associated with any releases. You got one?
I got a fish.
You got a fish, not a trout.
No.
Yeah, see, that's why we're not going to let any fish go. It's going to clean it up a little bit for the camera there because it's bleeding. There we go, one of the smaller trout for the pond. But policy here is you catch it, you cook it, you clean it, you eat it. Because we don't want the mortality rate to dip down too low. We know it's about 30% or so for fish caught that's released for trout. So one of the smaller guys, we're gonna catch 2, that's it. And the rest we're gonna let get big. Or until I get hungry for trout again, which may come sooner than they get big, but we'll see.
Well, I got a trout on. Let him tire himself out a little bit. A little bigger than the last one. There we go.
Well, that's a good sized one.
That's a nice one there.
Yeah, that's the size I wanted to catch. That's probably 12, maybe 13.
Yep. I'm gonna try to make like a worm out of it.
Get trout, do it. Get it, right now. It's gonna catch another chub.
More than likely, I got something.
He's gonna go through a whole jar of
Chub.
whole jar of that bait just to catch a trout out here. I had no idea there's that many big chub in here. It's crazy.
Bait's already gone. Let's just try a bear hook, see what happens. Yeah, because I got the weight like right there. Got something.
It's a
No
trout.
way.
It's a trout with a bear hook. That's your trout, man. With a bear hook. No way. Oh, you foul hooked him, that's why, but it counts because you know what? We don't.
No, it's in the mouth.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought you hooked it on the outside of the mouth.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's in the mouth.
It's on the outside of the mouth. You know what? We're gonna count it because there's no rules or regs in private ponds, so that's a legal fish. Well, the fish stopped biting. Not sure why. We only caught like 10 of them out of here, so I think they're onto the game. I think the strategy now would be to get the fire going so we're ready to cook. Let this pond rest a little bit. Maybe we'll change up the strategy, throw some live bait. We got worms, power bait that might work. Because these are now pressured fish and they're under our game. Yeah, we're gonna use the BioLite again because the BioLite actually works really good. Buy a BioLite, I don't care. Don't buy a BioLite, I don't care. I'm not making a fire on the owner's lawn. And this thing works really well. Small one, I'm kind of got mixed feelings about because it's so small and I don't think it works all that. I mean, it works, it's portable. That's the feature of it, but it doesn't work as well as this thing. This thing works really well.
This thing is awesome. You want to light it from down here?
Yeah, or
I'll suck a piece through so you can...
You want to do it? You seem like you want to try it.
Yeah.
Okay, here, I'll pass it to you and you can light it from down there. Let's see if that works. Maybe that's a strategy for this thing. I'm gonna try to light it from below and see what happens. But this thing, once it goes, it freaking goes. Like, I haven't even turned the fan on yet, but there's actually a fan at the front here that you can turn on. It should be on right now. Cheapers.
It's going.
All right, let's go. Get that fan blowing. Holy smokes, we don't even need the fan. Let's get out of here. Woo! Their fan's blowing now, and it's gonna recirculate air all the way through here. Hear that thing go?
It's like a rocket taking off.
That's really the drawback of these stick stoves, is that they don't provide enough air circulation because it's a contained box. Well, they solve the problem by putting that at the front, which blows air through it. We're gonna clean these guys up. Curious to see what the temperature is. 72 or so at the surface, which is 23, 24 Celsius. It's pretty warm. But that's only a surface temperature. This is giving you an idea how warm it is. If it gets like above 25, it's going to be an issue, but not above 25 at the surface. Obviously, if it's there, you can find refuse down below. Refuge, not refuse. If they find refuse at the bottom, they're having problems. Cast it out here while we're cooking our fish and see what the actual temperature is down at the bottom, because that's what matters the most. If they can find a spot down deep in the pond to hide during the summer, they're going to be fine for the rest of the year. You want to try to get it right in the middle?
Yep.
Right
in the deepest spot, which when I was in there, it seems to be just over here. So we didn't have a bowl today, so we're just gonna improvise and make one. Take all this and throw it in here. A little bit of dirt never hurt anybody. So we're gonna take the fish, throw them in, dump this in all over them, put a little bit of the good stuff in. And we're gonna fold this up and we're gonna shake it. So all that flour and spice gets all over the fish. And then we're gonna put some oil into this pan. We're gonna fry them up a little bit and they're gonna be good and tasty.
Well, to the guy who said this thing's a piece of junk, do that air fan thing. Well, look, I mean, look at it. It's instant like that. No effort. The thing fires up like a charm. Yeah, it's not portable, but it has a place. Backyard cooking. It's kind of what we're doing right here, isn't it? I'm scared to touch it. We got gloves here. So when you do fire cooking or any outdoor cooking, always make sure you bring gloves. We for sure have to make sure that this doesn't spill, because if it spills, it's a problem. The only thing I don't like about this BioLite, if you're watching it, is they have like a rack around the outside. I don't know if you can tell, but it makes it so that you can't actually lay a pan that's not the right size flat. It wants to, I mean, it's good because if you put like a steak on there, the steak's not gonna fall in, but it is stopping that pan from lying down flat, which is a drawback in my opinion.
So a good way to tell if the oil's hot is get your hand a little wet. Get one little drop of water. When the water starts to boil like that, it's because the oil's hot, and oil and water don't like to mix together. So it immediately starts spitting and sputtering.
Well, that looks ready to go. Now time for a fish. I'm looking forward to this. I haven't had battered trout. I don't know if I've ever done it. It's nice to watch the fish cook and then have the skin show and everything. But hey, I'm all for trying new ways of cooking things. I would batter a bass or pike, you know, in the fillet or walleye. Trout is a little weird. It's a little weird for me, but I guess I'm a little bit of a trout snob.
So when you're laying fish into any type of hot oil, what you want to do is lay it away from you. So when the actual meat hits, it won't come up and splash you.
Well, I know you guys can't smell that, but I can, and it smells freaking awesome. After they're cooked, we'll add a little bit more adobo. It should have been probably better saturation between the flour and the adobo, but that can easily be corrected after. These are going to be nice and oily, and so when we flip them over, or we take them out at least, we can coat them with the adobo. Give them a nice flavor. You guys can buy that on thewoodbeardsman.com/shop. Put your orders in. The stuff's selling really good. You guys are doing repeat orders, and you guys are telling me you're putting it on everything. And I agree. I put it on everything. From popcorn to chicken noodle soup. We made chicken noodle soup using the adobo, and it was fantastic. That's hot. Oh, that looks so good. How does that look, boys and girls? Does not even smell like wild food.
It smells delicious.
It smells like a fish and chips place. Well, it's probably too hot to eat. You got the hot stuff. Do you want to trade? Here, trade that tail for a hot tail. There, that one should be cool. The cool tail. But to eat it like this is a real treat for me, because normally it's just like, how can we make a meal with whatever we can find in the bush so we're not adding a bunch of extra things to it. Like oil is a huge feature to add to a trout. Oh man, the funny thing is you got all the heads and he's like, I'm not eating the heads.
I'm still not eating the heads.
I'm like, what's wrong with the heads? There's nothing wrong with the heads. The only thing we forgot is some potatoes. And we could have fried them up in the grease. Well, if you're not going to eat the heads, I'm going to eat the heads. All the heads?
Yep.
You don't want any of them?
Nope.
Dude, and the eyeball is always good. Oh, a piece of the eye socket. Eye socket's not good. Just got the eye. Oh man, there's so much flavor in there. It's a real treat. And if you're really lucky, you can suck the brain out, the cheeks. It's all good. Cooked up in oil, it's even better. All right, guys, let's check the temperature here. See where we're at. Go ahead, reel her up. So at the shore, we were 70, I think we were 70 Fahrenheit or 72 or 73. So we got to check this quick because it's gonna, obviously, temperature's gonna come up real fast at surface here because it's a really hot day today. What do we got?
22.
22 Celsius?
Yep.
So what's on Fahrenheit?
74.
74. It's warmer down at the bottom?
Apparently.
Apparently. That's not making much sense.
No,
but hey,
I'm thinking this is wrong.
that doesn't make much sense at all. And we got some worms here too, but we don't need them because we already caught our fish. I do want to see if like a trout is actually going to eat these or not, because the thing is, last year, trout didn't touch worms at all. Let's see what happens. Floating, yep. They're floating and sinking, they're sinking, they're sinking.
They're hitting them.
They're gone, I can't see them anymore. Can you?
Yeah, I saw a fish come right up and take them.
Well, there you go. Lots more competition in this pond, so I think that's the difference from this pond to the other pond, is that this pond just has a lot more competition. So if you don't grab something right away, you don't eat.
Oh yeah, they're hitting them.
Oh yeah, they're gone. I'm gonna throw a bit more feed in before we leave. Make sure they're good and healthy. Get them nice and big so we have future catch and cook videos. Hope you guys are enjoying this pond series.